Alright, man, what's good? We back at it. This one's from a woman's perspective, and honestly, I would say most of my game really came from just listening to women and from women directly. Asking them questions, either during the stint of our relationship or after. Because most times I'm cool with the women I've kind of dealt with to some degree. And I do have some that I'll never fucking interact with again. But for the most part, I would say the relationships are they end in healthy ways, or they just kind of pause and never. If I wanted to, really try, then I probably could. But I like getting game from them. I like listening to them directly or indirectly. So now we here with six amazing ways to flirt with any woman according to Your Wingmam. So let's see what you got to say, man. Like, comment, subscribe. As y'all know, I'm doing this for my little brother with the 1v1 upload challenge. I upload a video. He got to match me and upload one. He's sitting on content. He want to be a YouTuber. So, this is my way of challenging him. Letting him know I believe that he can actually do this shit. Especially from the content I've already seen that he's sitting on. I just gotta light that fire under his ass though. Let's get into it. DevDTB, go subscribe to that.
Do you question your flirting skills because you don't know how to flirt with any woman, never mind the one you really like? Do you cringe at yourself after walking away from talking to her? Or do you avoid flirting altogether because it just feels so awkward? If you answered yes to any of these questions, you are not alone, my friend. The truth is, some men are naturals and do know how to flirt with just about any woman. But flirting doesn't come naturally to most guys, or women for that matter. And even if you are the most confident guy with most...
It ain't. It's like damn near all women. Especially when it comes to like approaching a spitting game or with a nigga that they know 100% ain't even on that. They ain't even on that type of time, and they could care less if you showed your face or not. Like it's a lot that men have to go up against, because most times the people you're approaching, they probably could give a fuck. They probably could care less if you disappeared right after the situation happened. But having women have to process this, I think that it's a little bit more challenging for them, which is why they don't really practice game. They just show up. They don't have to. So,
as soon as you get around your crush, the one you really like, you're often at a loss for words. But you don't need to worry, because if you are struggling with flirting, by the end of this video, you'll know 6 ways to master flirting and the one thing you should never overdo. If you're new to my channel, welcome to Just the Tip Tuesday. All right, let's look at these.
That's crazy. Just the Tip Tuesday is crazy. I might have to go ahead and steal that on a motherfucker. Like, hey, it's Tuesday. It's I call that Just the Tip Tuesday. It's just the tip Tuesday. I just want the tip in. That's it. Just the tip.
Reverse order leading up to the most important flirting tip. Number 6, be confident. Obviously, this one's not a big surprise, but yes, it is challenging. Unfortunately, or maybe fortunately, to learn how to flirt with any woman, confidence is so critical. You need to either be or seem confident. The good news is confidence is a skill you can learn. Okay, now I'm going to give you a confidence hack in a minute, but just know that the more you fake it, the quicker you make it. In other words, the beauty of confidence is the more you act like you're confident, even if you're not quite there yet, the sooner you will actually start to feel confident. We're going to go over physiology and psychology because, key point, our physiology affects our psychology, And our psychology affects our physiology.
Facts. Facts, bro. Any nigga who get they haircut or get your hair freshly braided or retwisted, get your beard and shit shaped up, you smell good, you look good, nigga, you already know you on 10, you waiting to go outside. You waiting to bless a motherfucker with this newfound energy. So that's a fact. But if you feel like shit, hey, you likely gonna look like shit too. I'm definitely inside reflects outside type of person. Like my space, my apartment, my whatever. You can tell if you walk into my space like what type of timing I'm on. But I try to keep my space good through dedication, even when the motivation is gone. Because just in case my psychologically I'm not there, my space is helping me breathe and create room to pivot and get back on my shit. Versus making it harder for myself. Because now I fucked up my space. It's harder to get back onto the shit I was on and get back good because, you know, it takes extra effort now. Because now I gotta get up, start by cleaning my space, and now I'm creating more friction to get back to where I was versus just keeping my shit at a certain level to begin with. So you want to get consistent with keeping your space clean as much as possible, mental and physical space, and also just keeping yourself clean, keeping yourself groomed and looking nice and smelling good. You know, bro, put some fucking lotion on, bro. Put your lotion on, bro. Put your lotion on. All this shit is in arm's reach. Put your cologne on. You know, drink your water. You know, like just keep shit that you know will sharpen you around, man. Try to create that standard because people can tell when you ain't got standards, bro. Especially for yourself, because you ain't gonna have it for nobody else.
I mean by this. Glad you asked. Basically, even if you don't feel confident, if you act as if you are, play the role, your body starts to incorporate that feeling and you actually start to believe you're confident. It doesn't happen overnight, obviously, but it does happen or can happen. And again, I'm going to give you some more tips for how to do this, how to build confidence in a way that is natural and easy. Okay, but here's a key point. Successful confidence building, like any skill, does require the investment of taking uncomfortable and unfamiliar action, not just thinking about it. But let's.
And you know what's the cool part is you can do this shit without even. You can do this shit outside of the dating realm. Like I remember the first time I rock climbed, bro. That shit was so. And I had I think vertigo at the time, or I kind of still do, but something activated in me while I was traveling in Colombia, working out with my mentor and best friend on a rooftop, and just out of nowhere, bro, my mortality just kicked in, and I just registered like, bro, at any moment this shit could be over. It was windy as fuck during their winter months in Colombia and South America. It don't rain for real, or at least Colombia, it don't rain at all. Like, if it rains during the winter months, some shit is off with the universe. That's how rare this shit is. So, but it just gets extremely windy though, and the law for them and their ledges are way lower, like their window sills, their rooftop ledges, like their balconies. All of their shit is like, I want to say probably damn near 2 feet lower than the standard of America's in America. Like it is lower than the standard of the United States. So our ledges like are well protected. Your rooftops are well protected. It's hard to like slip and fall off of a roof in America because we have a standard for safety. Over there, that shit is not the same, bro. and I was taller than the average person, but I could feel how different it was because he had like the place I was staying had big ass windows and they opened up all the way, and I was at least on like the 8th or ninth floor. But as I'm cleaning up the spot, like bro, I could easily, if I'm mopping or some shit, easily slip and fall the fuck over right outside of that bitch. And I was processing this slowly, unknowingly. And by the time I got to that rooftop, we started working out. I'm like, bro, this shit it spooked the fuck out of me. But all that to say, when I came back to the States and started exploring heights again, actually getting back on a plane was pretty hard too. Like, I had to actually use grounding techniques to figure out how to calm myself down. But that was a challenge. It's like, bro, nothing's stopping me from traveling. Fuck that. I don't give a fuck what's going on. Nothing's stopping me from getting on a fucking plane or getting in a car or getting on a boat. Nothing, bro. Like, I would challenge myself 100 times over before I let fear grab a hold of me like that. Even if it's for a condition like vertigo or some shit. And I may not have had the fear of dying, but the fear of falling, or the feeling of falling and not being stable internally, just shot my anxiety up, and I just assumed that it was because these ledges. So I would go rock climbing, and rock climbing, if you've never done it, even if you do indoor climbing, that's what I do, more so indoor climbing. I shouldn't call it rock climbing. Indoor climbing, like every decision you make before you fall is completely up to you. So you got to find a path to get to the top, and you got to find a path to get down safe. Like every decision, where you put your hand, where you put your foot, how you twist your body, all of that shit is dependent on you. So the first time I did it, I didn't realize how high up the shit was, or how high up it looked when you're looking down. And I climbed all the way up, reached the top. It was fun doing it, but I'm like, fuck. I ain't think about the fact that I had to get down this motherfucker. And I looked down, nigga, I almost locked up. Not even gonna lie to you. And nobody can save you for real, because what the fuck are they gonna do? Like, ain't nothing nobody can really do for real. I mean, you got a big ass mat underneath you that you have to trust will actually catch you and brace your fall. You don't break some shit from landing wrong. But yeah, bro, like that shit just immediately like reminded me of the Columbia shit. And then I had to be brave enough to come back down, or even fall correctly. Make sure I fall correctly. But every decision is based upon you, so you can take these uncomfortable situations and practice them outside of the realm of dating and flirting. And it'll make flirting easier because you depend on yourself and trust yourself in your decisions based off of how much you've actually practiced.
Look at something simple that you can do that's practical. So, for example, stand up straight, shoulders back, take up space, maintain good posture. This is your physiology part.
Some of these things women have begged y'all not to do. See how crazy that shit is? Take up space. What they call that shit? Man spreading or some shit like that. Now I can see you being a dickhead or just inconsiderate of people. You're in a packed space, so just opening your fucking legs up extremely wide would probably be rude, but enough to make sure like, yo, I'm gonna be fucking comfortable. I'm not going to the extreme to make myself uncomfortable just because you want to be. So if there's a little room for me to pick up a little space, breathe a little bit, open myself up a little bit, I'm going to do that.
Do that, it sends a message to your brain that you're confident. Now, you might not believe your brain just yet, but you're going to notice a difference between if you're standing up straight with your shoulders back, taking up space, than if you're hunched over and basically trying to hide within yourself.
Facts.
Try it.
Power posing.
Try it right now. I dare you. Also, practice not fidgeting so much. Fidgeting makes you look nervous because that means you are nervous. So if you can't stop fidgeting, or if you're not sure if you really are or not, stick your hands in your pockets until you can overcome that glitch and be calm enough to use them.
Just don't be the nigga that with the two hands in the pocket. Like, don't. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about hands in the pockets. Maybe that's just because I feel weird doing it. I'm more of a at ease type of nigga. I'm two hands behind the back, just chilling, making sure I'm still open for anybody that want to communicate with me. But or a little closed off, a little closed off, but kind of moving my hands around, being a little active, not just standing straight up and down. Like some movement, some fluidity about yourself, some energy, just to have people gravitate towards it.
Number 2, coming up. Now, in tip number 4, when we get there, I'm going to give you a confidence tip that will help you feel and seem confident without overdoing it. Number 5 is a bit scary for a lot of guys. Make and hold eye contact. I know. Now, I know this one is really intimidating for a lot of guys. Let's say you see a woman that...
Bro, I'm so thankful for my eyes, dog. I don't know. I think I love fucking around with my eyes because of how they're shaped, for real. Like, yeah, I don't know. I think eye contact probably my favorite one because I like my facial features, and yeah, depending on how you even looking at me, and we lock in, I'm using my eyes, bro.
Like, or it's someone that you already know that you like, and you're looking at her. She catches you looking, so what do? You quickly look away. You don't want her to think that you're some creepy stalker guy, of course, but it shows a lack of confidence. But if you can gather up the courage to maintain eye contact for 3 seconds, which seems like an eternity when you're in it, she will see that as both confident and you showing interest. She's got to know you're interested. Now, a way to make this easier than just staring her down for 3 seconds, which does feel like a long time, is when she actually locks eyes with you, then you're going to nod, smile, or wave.
I would not wave. I would not wave. I mean, unless you're doing the Duke shit. Duke do shit like that but he already know they locked in with him, so that make it a little easier. But if you ain't fucking Duke, or you ain't that, when I say if you not Duke, as in if you don't have the energy and the physicality, and you know when a woman, like, she want to approach you, but she don't want to be the one to do it, or she want to engage, but she don't want to be the one to do it. Then you can mouth a come here with a hand gesture because the club is too loud, or you could just walk up to her. But if you passing somebody, let's say you on the belt line in Atlanta, you jogging, and y'all jog past each other, and you lock eyes, a smile will do. A smile will do, and then look back. If she look back, then you stop that motherfucking jogging. You go the other way. You follow her. Y'all jog together and talk. But waving, I don't know. Especially in the example she showed, I don't know if that really worked like that. Yeah, unless it's one of them, like, come here type of things.
If
you never go wrong with smiling them, especially keep your teeth clean, keep your face groomed. You never go wrong with smiling. And eye contact. Now that eye contact, you can definitely fuck it up if you held for 3 seconds, or she looked at you kind of quick and then looked away, but she didn't really mean to make eye contact with you. But you trying to seduce her with your eyes or some shit, or you trying to telepathically tell her to approach, or tell her what you thinking. So you end up just awkwardly and, like, very perversely staring at her, and it's gonna make her very fucking uncomfortable, bro. So be careful with the eye contact. If you could feel that this person ain't really locked in, just move on. And you may be able to double back to it. That shit is, if you make your way around a club, you lock eyes for a little bit, she look away, she might want to see how you move. Then after that, you can make the approach, try to look again, look in the direction, and, see from there. But don't make it awkward by, just trying to use this one tactic to get motherfuckers. Cause now you just like the weird niggas sitting in the back of the club staring at everybody.
Know her, and she maintains that eye contact, especially if you think she might be interested but you're not sure, you can wink at her. Now you only use the wink if you're feeling bold and really confident and it's not going to screw.
All your shit better be aligned, nigga. Better make sure you lined up, you crispy, you fresh, you smell. So if she approach, everything is already ready, you smell good, you got your handshake, the pressure of the handshake down, like you good. You kind of already know you quick with it, and shit like that. I don't think I ever tried to wink, but I should definitely try it. Cause I can tell when a motherfucker like kind of choosing up. I ain't gonna lie.
Your relationship with her, especially if it's somewhere where it could be awkward if she doesn't have a reciprocal interest. But if you do wink, then you're gonna laugh a little under your breath because it's kind of audacious. But throwing in a smile, nod, or wave reduces the intensity of those 3 seconds and makes it not so creepy. And if she has a positive response, like blushing or smiling or giggling, smile or laugh, like you're amused by her reaction, that shows confidence and makes her want to talk to you. However, don't continue to stare her down. Either walk over to her or wave her over to come and talk to you. Eye contact is a way to further fascinate her and let her know in a subtle but confident way that you're interested. So let her catch you looking at her.
On one screen,
and yes, this can work on a woman you've never met or the crush you've known for a long time. That's changing the dynamic. Maybe you've been in the friend zone for far too long. And if you can be playful about it, then tip number 4 naturally follows. Humor. Flirting is all about building sexual tension in a fun, playful, non-threatening way. Save the mysterious bad boy stuff for when you've already seduced her, she feels safe with you, and you want to take it to a different level. In the meantime, just be fun, playful, and not too intense, and you'll get a lot further with a high-value woman of any age.
And the humor don't have to be no... I don't know if the internet call us dick round or not, but fuck yeah, I've been watching niggas content to react and get knowledge and learn how to do this shit. So these are the motherfuckers that's fresh on my fucking brain. But everybody in A&P has their own style of humor, and they make it work for them. If you just want to know how to be audacious with your shit and be like a Kai, or low key and be like a Duke, or kind of quirky and weird, you could be like an Agent or like a Davis even. I would say Davis and Chris have a very unique, like, quirky style and kind of weird style of humor. But Agent is kind of I'll say Agent is more humanistic in ways, like especially when he's around women. It's more of a caring, affectionate, deep thought type of humor, because that's where he leads conversations. And then you got Duke, who just kind of, I was saying kind of, what the fuck. Duke is a chill, stoic, off in the cut type of character. But he's still funny. It just ain't as big as an energy like Kai's. And then you got Phantom, that's wavy. Yeah, bro, I need to cut that fucking word out of my lexicon right now. Like you have Phantom, who's a wavy type of charismatic New York, very New York funny. Like Kyle's New York funny too. Both of them niggas from New York, but when I think of when I think of Phantom, I just think of all the New York niggas that I know, man. So just pick your humor style and play with it.
Now, some restrictions do apply for using a sense of humor. Let's look at some examples. Don't overdo joking. If you joke too much, it's going to feel like you're trying too hard and it's going to fizzle her flame of attraction. More on that in a minute. Also, beware of overly self-deprecating humor. Humbleness is actually very attractive.
In microdoses. I used to have an ex that did that shit. She would just shit talk on herself all the time. Like, bruh, chill with that. Like, that is not... It was funny as fuck, I ain't gonna lie. Like, pointing out your flaws is cool. And knowing how you can grow is cool. But that shit can get a bit too much. And you start to actually believe some of this shit. Or soak in it instead of actually improving it.
When you don't know her very well or you use it with humor, it can actually show you don't value yourself. So, my tip is to only use self-deprecating humor if you're actually joking about something that's a positive about yourself. Never joke about something that can easily be perceived by yourself or others as a negative or that you are actually insecure about. And if she throws a barb at you, which women will sometimes do, if they're testing you or just to see how you react or just to be playful, never react, never defend. Turn it around into a positive. For example, let's say you're the same height as her or maybe a little shorter. And she says, well, I don't really date guys who aren't taller than me when I wear heels. Okay, all right, that's an objection. More on objections in a minute. You can playfully say, doesn't really matter when a couple's horizontal. That's bold, but it should make her laugh. If it doesn't make her laugh...
Bro, that's the most Caucasian shit I've ever heard in my life. Like, that that line was crazy. Like, she's being very professional. It's cute. But, yeah, motherfucker, we're not the same size or same height when we in a fucking bed. Like, that's simple as that. And you ain't never met a nigga like me, you know? So, yeah, that extra height went somewhere else. So, you know, yeah, she was very professional about where to take, telling a partner of yours or a crush or somebody you walking up to where them extra inches went is what she's trying to say. You know, that worked too. If you talking to a snowbud and you want to let her know, you know, you're the same height when you're horizontal. So that was an interesting line.
She's not interested anyway. If she does laugh, she appreciates your confidence. You passed that test. If she doesn't laugh, no loss. Next. But don't keep talking about that perceived flaw, especially if it is something you're sensitive about. Move on like it wasn't a real objection at all. At the same time, you want to avoid insulting her. Just like the barb might have been playful, but it kind of had a little poke of hurt in it, you don't want to make her feel bad about herself because she's going to associate those feelings with being with you. If she associates feeling bad with being with you, that's not going to build attraction unless she's damaged. And I'm pretty sure you don't want an emotionally damaged woman. Right?
I've avoided them. But...
So always laugh with her, not at her. Now again, it can be easy to lean on humor as a crutch, so you don't want to overdo it. If you're not sure and you need some guidance, let's use the rule of thumb of maybe up to 3 funnies within an interaction. You might start with a funny because you want her to laugh right away when you first meet her in the first few minutes of your interaction. Maybe you throw one in, slip it in the middle, and then maybe at the end as a bookmark of another laughter, because what? Laughter releases endorphins, feel-good endorphins, and she associates that with being with you. Now, a way to avoid insulting her, but to keep the tension alive, which you need to have the tension alive in order to be able to build attraction, is to use tip number 3, tease her. I've done a couple videos on teasing, but let's give you some extra information in this one. So you want to mess with her a little bit, not in a mean way, but just in a way that's playful and makes her want to kind of push you or shove you a little bit, just playfully, not seriously. Now, the way to do this is to deliver the tease with a bit of a compliment in it. I want to take a woman on a little bit of a roller coaster ride. Why women need stimulation, and tapping into various different emotions in an interaction is going to make her feel stimulated. And I'm going to share a little bit more about best and worst compliments later. But generally, if you think it's going to hurt her feelings, don't say it. You can always find something to tease about no matter what you're talking about. For example, let's say she says she has a sister. You can playfully nudge her and say, "Is she as hot as you?" Or, depending on how old you are and what's appropriate in the context, you might be able to say, "Is she as beautiful as you? Is she single? Is she as smart as you? Is she single? Is she as cute as you? Is she single?" Whatever compliment is sincere about the girl you're talking to or the woman you're talking to, but then you're saying, "Hey, maybe your sister's better." Now, if she likes you or she's easygoing, she should laugh at this because you're not serious.
I don't know if I'll use that one. I mean, you could probably use the future line. But that's given the context of Black culture and us understanding the actual reference. But I don't think I would do the comparison thing. I wouldn't use that.
Interested in her, not her sister, hopefully.
You can fuck around with physical appearance, cross the touch barrier. You can pick on, you can pick on clothing, you can pick on some shit she said, you can do something like that. But comparison to tease, women don't like being compared. So I think that's outside of my comfort zone.
At the same time, you slip that compliment in because you said hot, smart, beautiful, cute, whatever it is that you stuck in there. She knows you're talking about her. Now, if she doesn't take it the right way, or maybe you didn't deliver it very well because you're practicing and she doesn't have the best reaction, you can go, "Too much? Yeah, I thought it was too much." So
delivery, very important. Delivery.
Laugh at yourself in that moment because you both know you're trying to be funny, but if she doesn't laugh, then it needs to be patched up a little bit. But if she does like you, or not to dislike you, and she has a sense of humor, she should laugh and maybe give you a playful little shove, like, "Ha ha." So just roll with it. Let's look at another example. This one, just about anybody will be able to use. Woman. Tip number 2, touch her.
Of course. Gotta get past that touch barrier, bro. At least look like 3 points of contact. At some point, 3 times throughout the night or date, wanna get past that.
Touch is one of the greatest flirting techniques of all time because it breaks that intimacy barrier. You actually can't overdo it if you're touching her appropriately and gauging her reaction. And if you aren't using touch to flirt, then you're missing out on a great opportunity to build sexual tension that's absolutely necessary if you want to build attraction and not a friendship. For example,
that was a good gem. Because if you don't let somebody know what type of timing you on, they could easily put your ass in there. Okay, this was a good time, but it ain't going. The more you keep doing that, it's never gonna progress unless you really just fire at easing your way out of the friend zone. But by that time, she already done ran into a nigga like me who we ain't even finna start that way. We ain't even finna start that. I'm letting you know, whether it be through voice, through touch, what type of timing I'm on. So you have to calibrate the situation as you go. And that's all this is just calibration, man. And aligning. You're aligning situations, you're aligning intent, you're aligning energies so that you're letting her know through verbal and nonverbal communication that this is what I'm on, this is what I want from you, this is what I enjoy, this is how I see the night going. And they want that from you. They want the communication because they do not want to be sitting and floating in mixed emotions, bro, mixed signals.
When you leave the interaction,
I mean, you didn't lead.
touch her shoulder and give her a little squeeze. That little squeeze isn't going to hurt her, but it's going to show your masculine strength. Men have a much greater grip strength than women. Even
you can also do that with people. Like there's a body language breakdown channel that I like watching. I can't remember old dude that plays Thor, but I think it's the dude that plays Thor. No, it's the nigga that plays Aquaman. Super good with just reading body language and using body language to communicate something. And everybody in Hollywood essentially fucking loves the nigga for it. Because he knows how to, the EQ, like emotionally intelligent enough to communicate non-verbally and get the response that he wants. And knowing the response that somebody else
about the same size. Needs. I think it's about 30%. Or give her an elbow and knock when you are busy teasing her. But don't put your arm around her unless you can tie it into a joke that's really appropriate. And remember, put your arm around her if you are going to do this like she's a bratty little sister. Of course, don't touch any part of her body inappropriately, because this is an instant turnoff if she
ain't going no lower than lower back. You got lower back, back of the upper shoulder. Those are usually cues. And they're erogenous zones too. So you might even get turned on by it, or a little aroused by it. Build attention, building it.
Not ready, willing, and wanting it. In the beginning, you want to play it a little bit more safe because you don't want to get in trouble, but also it will turn her off. So you let her advance a little bit in the beginning and then you back off. Or you can advance a little bit, but if she resists, then you back off and take it back down a few levels until she progresses touch.
Facts. Do not eliminate yourself. Do not eliminate yourself, man. Like, continue communicating. That's it. Just because you had a little friction in between doesn't mean that you stop the entire fucking mission, bro. I know some men who will do that. It's like, oh no, she ain't feeling me, so I'm gonna just go ahead and call it a dub. Like, nah, bro. Actually try to complete the fucking mission.
But in general, your touch should be light, random, and playful, and it should send a little message. The message be for a little bit later once you've already built a bit of a playful, fun, intriguing, and positive interaction with her. So maybe that's your last bit of humor, or maybe you save it for next time. And always keep in mind that flirting doesn't have to be overly complicated, overly dramatic. It can be simple and natural.
Facts. A lot of this shit is very, if you're outside and you're flirting with life, which you'll see I reacted to a video of a dating coach putting it that way and phrasing it that way. Just flirt with life, man. Talk to your cashier. The moment you wake up, you should have already talked to somebody, whether it be your friends, family, whether it be your neighbor, your fucking mailman, grocery store. Later on in the day, you out, you running errands, you doing hobbies, you're doing something social. So you're talking to people, but talk to them with intent. Like actually talk to them with the intention of learning, communicating well, reciprocating. Like there's a lot of things that happen within short spurts of communication. So by the time you even meet who you need to meet and flirt with who you need to flirt with on that date, it should come so easy because you've already been building the muscle at this point. But yeah, man, that was 6 amazing ways to flirt with any woman reaction video. Like, comment, subscribe. I'm about to start knocking these shits out as much as possible. Dev DTB. Go like, comment, and subscribe on that too. Reason why I'm here. My little brother, man. 1v1 upload challenge. Nigga, I upload a video, you upload a video. Let's see who go up. Then we go up together, you dig? But I fuck with y'all, man. See y'all on the next one.